unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Andy Ruiz losing weight ahead of the Anthony Joshua fight December 7th. Is he losing too much weight? We gotta talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We work in December 7th on the Zone. We got an upcoming fight, heavyweight fight. It's a rematch. Andy Ruiz shook the game up, and he shocked the world when he beat Anthony Joshua June 1st, Madison Square Garden. Now, it appears that this is a crossroads type of fight, kind of like David Price, Tony Thompson. Joshua is really looking to establish that it was a fluke. Maybe he underestimated Andy Ruiz, and he could do better. That's what it breaks down to. If he loses, that's going to be a hard climb back to... I don't know if he can even climb back to what it was, but it's going to be a hard climb to try to get back to where his name was. His name was ringing bells. He was thought to be the number one heavyweight from some people, and there was a fight people were kind of pegging, Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. It was going to be worth millions of dollars wherever they fought, and all that was kind of squandered. If Joshua doesn't get it right here, some people say it's already too late. They have no interest. We've already seen, I can agree with that assessment just based on the fact we just seen Joshua knocked out. In his best names that he's fought, Andy Ruiz and Klitschko, he's been knocked down 5 times. That's a fact. He's been knocked down 5 times. So, realistically speaking, if he were to fight Wilder being an immense puncher, if he gets past Luis Ortiz in the rematch, I don't really feel it'll be a shock if he were stopped, because that option and that, initial shock of it, Ruiz already did that, So it would just be adding to the collection, if you will. But one topic I want to talk about was Andy Ruiz's weight. There's a lot of people who are out there and they're suggesting that Andy Ruiz is doing himself a disservice, if you will, and losing too much weight. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Stay at whatever weight he was at in the first fight. And we unpack, coming to you live. I got to talk about this subject and unpack it. I don't see things the same way that a lot of people see. Oh yeah, shout out to my Niners. I know y'all see that 6-0. Shout out to the Frisco. But I don't see it. I don't see it the same way that a lot of people, allegedly see it with Andy Ruiz should stay at any particular weight. First of all, I'm pretty sure his trainer, Manny Robles, and him know his body better than most fans. So that already accounts for that. But beyond that, you have to keep in mind that Anthony Joshua was supposed to fight Gerald Miller. It was never supposed to be Andy Ruiz Jr. He was supposed to fight against Gerald Big Baby Miller. He failed a drug test, multiple drug tests in the sequence of testing that he had to do, and they had to find a replacement. So luckily, Andy Ruiz had just fought Demon Trinko on a Danny Garcia undercard, so he was in maybe somewhat shape coming off the heels of a recent fight, probably just resting, eating good and stuff like that, not really preparing for his next assignment though. So Andy Ruiz had 5 or 6 weeks to prepare for Anthony Joshua, right? So I don't understand this whole hoopla of people panicking that Andy Ruiz is trying to get in better shape. because he was able to outperform, outgun, outslug, outheart, outchin Anthony Joshua in the first fight with very minimal time to prepare. Now he has some money to his name. I don't know what his finances were before, but let his team tell it. They were considering retirement. Things weren't going well, some financial woes and stuff like that. That's all a thing of the past. Andy Ruiz became a celebrity overnight. He's bought some luxurious cars. He bought his mama a house. He bought himself a new crib. He's living plush. So now you can get some things done. Money isn't everything, but money facilitates things. Like, I would much rather have a Conor McGregor training camp than, Apollo Creed or somebody, Adonis Creed who hasn't made no money yet in the sport. You get what I'm saying? So they can't fly in sparring partners. They can't pay sparring partners, because then beggars can't be choosers, if that makes sense to you. So I don't understand this whole widespread panic, because I feel like if Andy Ruiz was able to get something done in the first fight with the bare bones minimum, coming off of a fight with Dimitrenko, they might be similar heights, but different style to Joshua. Joshua is in prime. Dimitrenko had already been stopped by Bryant Jennings, so you got to know your boxing. So Joshua was undefeated, Dimitrenko, similar height, but again, he had recently been stopped by Bryant Jennings on a top rank card. So that wasn't thorough preparation, and he still got it done. So why are people bugging out on Andy Ruiz right now when, with fewer tools, fewer I guess, like, resources, he was able to get the fight done and get through the fight and look impressive? So me personally, I'm not really worried about Andy Ruiz's weight. Like, I could understand if his weight was some extreme makeover and he was weighing with Usyk or Wilder, maybe weigh like 209 or 210 from 260, then that would be alarming for me, because that means he lost 50 pounds or some shit. But as far as the amount of weight that it looks like he lost, I'm not really worried about that. And I think Joshua has the pressure on him, and he has more to prove. Andy Ruiz is not supposed to be here from the beginning. He wasn't supposed to be on this journey, and he made and mastered his own destiny. Again, for me to be worried about Andy Ruiz's weight, he would have to lose a lot more weight. Andy Ruiz is doing like little ads and stuff like that, and it looked like, to me, that someone who has a Photoshop and video editing background, the picture that people keep talking about, where I made a video and I even said this in the video, but the picture where Andy Ruiz was like holding the speed bag and he was doing some kind of promo ad for a brand deal or sponsor, it looked like it was photoshopped, airbrushed and photoshopped and stuff like that. You have to understand, when they have stuff like that happen, they Photoshop imperfections, or if it looked like his stomach was sticking out more, they might tuck that in and clean that up to make it look better. So from what I've seen from his media day, it doesn't look like he's lost some ungodly amount of weight like Christian Bale in The Machinist or anything like that, to the point where I would imagine people voicing all these concerns. So to me, I just feel like people don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they're overdoing it in regards to Andy Ruiz's weight loss. The other aspect is, he did all of this with bare bones minimum time to prepare, and he probably wasn't in a career best shape. That was probably, one of his higher weights. If I had to take an educated guess, that was probably one of his higher weights. So with that being said, now he has time to get it right with his trainer, maybe get some better sparring. He just has sufficient time to prepare. And with that being said, I don't mind him losing a little bit weight, because people are complaining about him losing weight and they haven't even seen him perform with that weight. And see, this is the other thing. Like, this is how I know that a lot of people don't know shit about boxing, and they haven't been studying Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz used to be bigger. He used, at least to me, he used to look bigger than what he's looked recently. And then he had like this major transformation, maybe before the Joseph Parker fight, where he lost a ton of weight and he looked pretty small. But then over the years, he kind of put some of that weight back on. You get what I'm saying? And, you know, because it takes discipline. If you have certain genetics, certain body type, it takes discipline. You got to eat right. And, you know, it looks like he likes to eat and have family time and stuff like that. So Andy Ruiz, his body has went through kind of like these ups and downs, fluctuated, you know, similar to Tyson Fury. And that's just the reality of it. But there's a one point where Andy Ruiz got down pretty light. You know, you can find pictures of it, I'm sure, on his social media or on the Google search or whatever. And maybe if he got back down to what I've seen him get back down to, you know, where he looked like he was almost in his 220s, 230s, you know, low 230s, that might be a concern, you know, just because Joshua's so hulking and big. But, you know, I feel like people are making more of a deal to this. I think Andy Ruiz has the momentum. Andy Ruiz has... Some guys just got your number. Vernon Forrest, rest in peace, and Shane Mosley is a perfect example. Manny Pacquiao, when he fights Juan Manuel Marquez, you can always expect a tough fight for Pacquiao. Just some styles mesh like that. And, you know, it could very well be that Andy Ruiz being shorter, his height, hard to mimic in sparring, his fast hands and, you know, some head movement and ba 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 ba. That could just be, with Joshua's more European style, that could just be his kryptonite, you know. So I'm not really worried about Andy Ruiz's weight at all. I don't think it's dramatic enough for anybody to have this like fake concern that people are, you know, allegedly having. I don't see that. I just think he's getting in better fight shape, better cardio, and I think that could suit him well. He's already faster than Joshua in general. Don't let that body or whatever deceive you. To me, he's faster than Joshua. You know, he moves more. That's why they call Joshua the robot, you know what I'm saying? Because Joshua's like big, clunky, and poof, 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 you know, like just like a unit, you know, tank. But Andy Ruiz he moves well for his size. And he's quicker, stealthier, better upper body movement. And, you know, he has that big Mexican heart, lets his hands go. Fluid with his combination punching, has a chin. I see it being a hard fight for Joshua. Joshua also looks like he has problems rising to the occasion and accepting all the pressure that's on him. I feel like Joshua, in my honest opinion, I feel Joshua, he tries very hard to, you know, act as if he's cool as a cucumber and he's not feeling the pressure and he's unbothered, but I think it eats him up. Like, I don't know if he has anxiety issues or social, you know, like a social disorder or something like that, but just look at how he was walking out. Eddie Hearn, Joshua, they all could say whatever they want about, oh, he wasn't really bothered, he was so relaxed. There's a thing called body language, point blank period. You can tell me he was so relaxed, but me looking at him, those weren't the signs of somebody being so relaxed. I've seen guys like Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao come out and be extremely relaxed. You know, recently, Artur Beterbiev, I think Vostok was doing pretty good. He was doing all right. And Beterbiev looked very calm. He looked very relaxed. He never looked super discouraged. Intense poker face where you couldn't really know what he was thinking, if the shot really hurted him. You know what I'm saying? Hurt him. Joshua didn't look like that. So, you know, they could say the dad swung on Eddie Hearn or was about to because he was so relaxed and he was, you know, mad at the chef and living quarters. But I don't believe none of that. And especially from that team, you know, just with the lies and the mistruths and half-truths and shit we've heard, I don't believe it one bit. So I think more people should be worried about Team Joshua than Andy Ruiz. Again, he's not even supposed to be here, so he just has to hold himself accountable, best foot forward, and try to extend his gravy train for his family. It's Joshua, to me, that has the more proving to do. He put on an abysmal performance. He was dropped. The zone's counting on him. He looked like he struggled with the pressure, and the moment was kind of getting big. Bro, he was walking out with his gum shield, and looking all around Madison Square Garden like Chris Tucker in Friday. Man, as soon as he said that, I started feeling funny as hell. Chill out, Smokey. It's angel dust. As soon as he said that, I started feeling funny as hell. Next thing I know, I woke up in Debo Pigeon Coop. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just looked like he was like bugged out. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I seen. I can't help what I seen. So, you know, I'm not really worried about Andy Ruiz's weight. The media day, his punches, he's punching with conviction. His hand speed's there. You know, he looks like he's slimming down somewhat. You know, I feel it's insane that, like, this is the only thing, and I'm definitely one of the pioneers of YouTube when it comes to this boxing, where people will get on the mic, you know, and rap to the fans and give their opinion on boxing. And the great thing is, you know, like I said, I'm a pioneer in here. Like, I started a lot of this with not just going to fights and weigh-ins and, you know, filming press conference, but like giving thoughts. And it's ushered in that, and you see it in the digital space, which is great, you know, tons of channels out there. But the one thing that made me pop more so than everything is, like, you know, consistency and persistence, but knowing what the fuck I was talking about, and, you know, trying to give boxing a fair shake and, you know, insightful commentary. And I think that's kind of, the game is getting oversaturated, where everybody wants to be a YouTuber now. Everybody wants to get on here and talk boxing, which is cool. But the downside is a lot of these motherfuckers don't know what they're talking about. They don't understand boxing. They say foolish shit, you know. Like, they just literally, like old media, they just said Usyk. He can beat Wilder, and that's his easiest fight. Yet he didn't even have an easy fight with Chaz Tablespoon, with 5 days to prepare for Usyk, and he is not really a relevant heavyweight party. You know what I'm saying? And this is what they're saying. And then he looks average, and oh yeah, he has to acclimate. Oh, he should go back to no. That's what I'm saying. A lot of dudes don't know what they're talking about. So me personally, I can't get it. I don't understand why Andy Ruiz, when he did what he did in the first fight, why he's the person that you're analyzing the weight loss. To me, Joshua looks like he's slimming down too, and that's more concerning because Joshua's style, like, he literally posted a picture of him flexing days before the fight, and he looked huge. You know what I'm saying? Like, he looked muscle bound and, you know, penitentiary swole. And I think that's kind of his style to, you know, a strong boxer, puncher. That's part of his MO. So him losing weight, you don't know how that's going to fare for him. Andy Ruiz didn't even... Joshua himself said he had a 16-week camp for whoever. It was supposed to be Gerald Miller, but it ended up not being him. Look. Hold on. This is Joshua. Looking hella muscle bound and shit. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I'm more concerned with him cutting too much weight, losing weight. Because what's that about? You know, why is he thinks that's going to be faster, you know, he's going to be more durable. He looks like he had stamina issues in the first fight. Losing weight, that could be, you know, that could be harmful. If you lose too much weight, you could be even less durable than you were in the first fight. Because, you know, you can't train your chin. You're kind of blessed with whatever genetic chin you have. But at the same time, certain things, if you're more imposing and bigger and strong and hard to move, you know, you might be able to take just a little bit more of like ruggedness and stuff like that. Versus if you cut too much weight, you don't know how it's going to do the body. So to me, bottom line, we Unpacked coming to you live. I think Andy Ruiz, given the situation and the late notice to prepare in only 5-6 weeks, he can afford to slim down and get in better shape. Because even if he was fighting Dimitrenko, that's probably not the fight weight he would have naturally come in. he didn't have a full camp. He had like, even if, I don't even know if you would call it a half camp, but you know, he had a half camp or less. So he should lose weight, you know, and that's what I don't understand why this is even like a conversation that we're having. You know, I just seen a lot of people like, man, I'm worried about Andy Ruiz. He's losing weight. What are you talking about? He just annihilated a man with a 5-6 week camp, and it wasn't even a full 6 week, you know? So he didn't get in the full fight shape that he probably wanted to. He had to just, it's a massive paycheck or a good paycheck and an opportunity. We just got to be ready. So he did the best he could do. You know, it's just, here's a quick example, because, you know, I like to give y'all analogies. It's like you getting up on time for work versus you getting up and you're running behind and you get up later. You hit the snooze button too many times. You got to be at work at 6 a.m. It's a 10-minute drive, and you wake up at, you know, 5:32 and you wanted to get up at 4:30. You know, the more time you have to prepare, you can casually drink some coffee, you know, turn on the news, shower without rushing and, you know, scrubbing real quick because you got up at 4:30, so you gave yourself enough time, you know, or you could stop at Starbucks or McDonald's, things like that, because you planned and you gave yourself enough time. Andy Ruiz, in the first fight, he had to make it to work or school with barely any time. You know what I'm saying? He like hit the snooze button. Like, I'm saying it hypothetically. You know, he hit the snooze button. He didn't have time to prepare for that. So if you have time to prepare, you can do things on your own accord and do them without having to rush. He had to rush the first time. This time he can get it all right, get it all dialed in, come in at probably a little bit light. The other thing I don't understand, that why people are acting shook about Ruiz losing weight or whatever, is this what he told you before he even started training? You know, so I feel like people are just afraid and they're just looking for something. You know, like, I don't know if it's UK fans or something, they're just worried about Joshua. Because first they were worried that the man's spending habits, that he was buying cars and wasn't taking training serious. And then now they're saying he's too slim and he's too light. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. One minute you say he's not taking it serious and the money done changed him, and he's buying jewelry, hanging out with rappers, and, you know, eating too much, and, you know, buying too many cars and living the life, living the fast life. But then now people are saying, oh, he's too skinny, he's too slim, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why'd you lose weight? It just sounds like your motherfuckers is just complaining just to be complaining. That's what it sounds like to me. You know, when you perceived and, you know, try to study his social media and perceived he wasn't taking it serious enough for your liking after becoming the first Mexican heavyweight champion in history, he's taking too much of a vacay for your liking and eating too much and shit, you complain. Now people are saying he's too slim and that's gonna hurt him in the fight. You know, it's just a bunch of people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So anyway, that's my thoughts. We unpacked. Good luck to both. December 7th. We'll see. If you like what I'm doing, smash the like button. We working.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.